So at this point now, I'm going to go ahead and really get into the setups and integrations and what we need to do.
Hey, real quick, this training is most useful as an execution tool. So I want to make sure you have everything you need. If you're not yet plugged into SAM, this is going to be the first move. And I want to give you 14 days of access on me. That way you can set up, build, and succeed alongside us as we go through each of the training modules. It's as simple as going to sam.workflowsecrets.info, clicking sign up, entering your details, and then you're ready to go. If you need it, I'll throw the link down below and I'll see you inside. Now back to the training.
First off, you should see at this point the SAM screen. Now, I have it in purple. You may have it in different colors. Up here at the up at the top, there is a configuration for different color schemes and stuff. Don't let that bother you. You can do it in any different color that you want, even dark modes and stuff like that. But in the upper right corner where you have your initials, you're going to go into the profile section. You're just going to click on profile. And in profile, it's going to give you the ability to put in information about your broker, your company, and your team. And the more of this information you put in, the better, because a lot of these are fields that are used within merge fields, but they're also used within the AI part of this to know about you and who you are and stuff. So whenever you click on there, put as much information in there. All of my information is just sampled stuff, so don't pay attention to the actual data as much as making sure that you fill it in with your accurate information. So your brokerage information, who's your broker, broker license. These are just things that are important. The more information you can put about your broker, your company, each one of these have this additional information pieces. The more you can put in about those elements, the better, because it's all used within the AI to help generate more content that's relevant to whatever aspect is that you're doing. Now, some people will have this type of stuff out on their website. You could just copy and paste it right into this area. If there's details about who you serve, what locations and the different communities that you deal with, the neighborhoods, all that kind of stuff is good content, putting it in here. It doesn't have to be well formatted. It doesn't have to be pretty. It just needs to be information that's gathered. And the AI then utilizes that information whenever it's generating content. Again, personalizing it to you. In some, like if you were to use ChatGPT, just do a compare and contrast. There is an area where you can put in some basic information about who you are and stuff, but it's used like all the time or never. You can choose when to use it, but it's never really relevant. What we do is we say, okay, if we're creating something about the broker, pull the broker information. If it's about the company information. If it's about a certain team member, pull that team member's information. So each element is utilized in a certain way. It's not just one big drop of all information. It's actually the parts and pieces that's in the profile for you to be able to do the things that you need to do at that time. So, making sure that you put in all your details, all of whatever you do, like what service areas. So here, let me pull this over. So one of the things that's critically important is that whenever you're putting in your information, your member voice. Your member voice is, how do I communicate whenever I'm writing content, whenever I'm doing different types of generating of content, whether it's a blog, whether it's information on my website or whatever. How do I write? We've got a book that we wrote. How do we, what's the method and how do I sound in that book? And everybody sounds different. And that comes back to that statement that I used last time was, never meet your hero, because a lot of times they're not the same as what you think they are. And it's typically because the voice, the member voice is not the same. So one of the things that you want to do is come in here, look at your member voice elements and check the ones that you are. Now, maybe you don't know what you are. Maybe you've written content and you don't know exactly the best way to explain how you are set up. Now I'm going to go ahead. Let me go to, because I don't want to mess up Cody's. I'm going to come down here
this is all demo data.
Yeah, this is all demo data anyway, but I didn't want to mess up the one that you had up there. If you want to, so I can just go in here and say I'm engaging, I'm friendly. I hope I am. I'm definitely not concise. I'm sorry, I'm wordy, whatever. But you can go through and check the ones that are in here. And whenever it creates that content, it will use those elements of the voice to create the content that represents you. And you want that. Now, you may not know what that is. You may not know all of what you do and trying to figure it out. And maybe there's other words that better describe you than what's here. So what you can do is you can do this analyze content. There's a little button there, in which case we've provided you with an area to copy and paste information in there. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab an article, and I'm just going to paste this article in here. This is an article that I've put together. AI in real estate: the shift agents can't ignore and shouldn't fear. It's all about what AI is and the things that make up AI and how you should be using it in your business. Okay, how I write it, but you paste in that block of information. It can be from a website, it can be from your blog. Maybe you type in several different things. You can paste multiple things in here, and then click on the OK. It will go through and it will look at how that article was written, and then it will go ahead and put that in there. Like I said, I am not concise. It figured that out. So encouraging, engaging, assertive, professional, informative, and thoughtful. Those are things that make up how I write. And if you will put those elements into your system, making them about you, any content that Sam creates on behalf of you should be very similar to how you've written in the past. And that makes it more truistic into who you are and what you are whenever the people read it from you. So that right there is a critical piece. But definitely put in, what's your service area, what's your all the information about you, your team members. Different team members may have different roles. Now, within SAM, depending on how you're set up in your business, we may have turned on, there's a security area. If your team, if you've got a team and maybe it's a large team where everybody kind of uses the same database, but different agents have access to different things. It's not like a mom and pop shop type place where everybody shares everything. You don't need this, but we can turn it on for you if you need it. Let us know. We can turn on the security area where you can set up and manage different roles. You can manage different security things. Who's an agent? Maybe it's a listing coordinator, transaction coordinator. What do they have access to? These are things that's built into SAM capability, but not everybody has it turned on. If you need it, let us know. We'll turn it on for you. We don't want you to be confused by it if you don't need it. And many of our agents don't need this, but if you do have a larger team and you need the ability to have leads routed to different people and they control their own contacts, but it's inside of your SAM account, then that section may be needed. Just let us know. We can turn that on, and we'll go through that and do that. You can set up your own roles. So if I wanted to set up a role for transaction coordinator or for junior agent, or whatever, you can set up different roles, and then each of those roles can be identified on what they have access to, what they don't have access to. Some people say, it's like, I don't want certain people to have access to my commissions area. Those types of things can be turned on and turned off. And that's what's important. Whenever you look at this one, we do have a role area and who they report to in the system. So there's a hierarchical security system that can be implemented if you need that. The main thing here, though, is analyzing that content. So that is, that's really the importance of that profile data, the member voice, making sure that you've set that up for your teams, all the different pieces. The member voice field is critical. Set those up the way you want. And then whenever you fill that out, there's places inside of the templates area where it will use merge fields that can utilize the fields that you're putting in there. So like profile member name, that is that member name field that's right here in the system. Member name is one of the merge fields, and one of the many merge fields that's in there. But you definitely have to have those things filled out. Otherwise, if you're doing a template email of some sort, if that field is being used, it'll come up blank. Or you can set it up so that it has default values whenever you're setting up the template, but a lot of people don't do that, so it would show up blank. So definitely making sure that you have that. Whenever SAM creates content, if it knows it's a template that you're going to be using over and over and over again, it will try to insert the correct merge fields for you at different points, and that's one of them. So definitely make sure that you address that. So just recap: go into your profile, go into your team, into your member voice, and then definitely go in there and test it. You can go into your templates, let Sam create some content, and then we'll, what does it actually look like? Does it sound like you, and stuff like that? So just as a sample there, what we could do is go into templates, go into new template, create a content, and whenever you go through this, you can click on this little let Sam create it piece, and you can start having a conversation with Sam on what you want. So you might come over here and let me see if I've got a sample of something. Routine with a template. Okay, write up an email. Let me just do something like this to a buyer lead. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna paste in a prompt type thing of what I want, and then I can hit submit. So what it will do is it will utilize this conversation and build it in. You'll see that it built in, just in that quick, it created a quick home buying roadmap email type thing. It used the merge fields, it put in signature, those elements. We will cover the signature piece within the templates, within the email section, within both SMS and email. There is this little pencil piece here, which allows you to set up your signatures for your emails. You definitely want to go through those pieces for that as well. But whenever you're letting Sam create this content, it's utilizing those elements of that member voice to make it sound like you and do the things that it does internally based off of that content that you put in there. I'm not going to save that. Just wanted to show an example of that.